to the DMF. I am your host, Justin Yachts, and this is episode 45. And I'm going to be talking about my brand new mic. I'm going to talk a little bit about Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We'll talk a little bit about some books I read. I'm going to talk about the film High Fidelity. We'll talk a little bit of politics and the stimulus checks, and we'll end with a quote. So stay tuned. Okay, so I got the mic. I'm not using it yet. That will hopefully take care of this, the air conditioning and sounds like that. That's what I got it for. It's a dynamic mic. I got the Shure MV7 and I'm excited and I can't wait to use it. I think it's going to bring a more broadcast quality to this podcast, and I hope you enjoy it because I think it's what's been needed for a while here. It's a USB mic as well as an XLR mic. It has everything that I need to do with it. It's well built. I've got a little stand right here, and then I've got another stand that's coming. Unfortunately, the stand hasn't gotten here yet. Has not gotten here yet. But yes, it should take care of noises like that, where it sounds like wind is being pumped in through the air vents. So I'm very excited about that, but since it's Christmas, I wanted to wrap it up and open it then. But I think it's going to be really cool. I was looking at it. It's black. It's a sleek black mic. It's cool. It's got a nice yoke to it. For most of the reviews I read, everyone loved it, except for some don't like it. Some people said they didn't think it was worth the price. Some people didn't think the sound, but the majority of the reviews were positive, and from the people that I really listened to, as I listened to like 64 interviews or things on YouTube. And I read a bunch of interviews, or reviews, not interviews, reviews. And so I'm very excited. I think this mic is exactly what is needed. I keep saying that, but I'm very excited about this. So yes, the mic is here, and the mic will be here next week, and you will be hearing a new sound from this podcast, the DMF. So stay tuned for that. But let's talk a little bit about Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and these phrases that we've got. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the sound of Merry Christmas. I know it could be offensive to some, but when I think of Merry Christmas, I don't really think of, religious purposes. I see more the festivities. When we call it Christmas, I'm not really thinking, in the religious and Christian religion, it's considered Jesus' birthday. But, Christmas is kind of encompass Santa and everything. I guess we can say Happy Holidays, but it just sounds lame and boring to me. It just doesn't really have any oomph to it. Merry Christmas sounds like a pretty word. So maybe we can get around that, and maybe we'll say Merry Holidays. Could we do that? It's like a compromise. Merry Holidays. I don't know. I wanted to talk about this. I don't want this to be the war on Christmas. This has nothing to do with that. I just like the sound of it. It sounds prettier. It doesn't, I'm not trying to be Roger Ailes here. If anyone watched the Roger Ailes thing that they did on Showtime, the thing opens up with them being disappointed because they say to him, Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. So it has nothing to do with that. I'm fine with saying that. I just think it's a prettier word, Merry Christmas, as opposed to, Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays just sounds so bland to me. But I understand why some people don't like it. Happy Hanukkah. I don't know, could we say Merry Hanukkah? I like the Merry in it. It's just a prettier word, and I'm someone that's all about pretty word. So, you know, I guess we could say Merry Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, you know, so I don't know. I like all these little things. Let's see here. We've got, I'm going to put in here Christmas traditions. So we can say, so we've got, wait a minute, this is just arts and crafts things. So here we go. We could say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. I don't know, I'm probably missing a bunch of other ones. I don't know if you celebrate Krampus. Yeah. I'm trying to find other names. But that's all I have to really say about, you know, Merry Christmas and things like that. But, you know, what can you do? I mean, some people just don't want to hear it. But Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, let's see. Oh, here we are. Here's a little thing on something. So yeah, I guess we could say, yeah, happy. Okay, so we got so we got Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. I guess that's all of them. Is that really all the Christmas traditions? Oh, well, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but yeah. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy whatever you want. I think we should say Merry though. Can we say Merry Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, Merry Holidays? I like that. There's your compromise. So now moving on, let's talk a little bit about some of the books I read. I'm reading 90 Minutes on Kierkegaard. I actually played him in a short film a long time ago. I continue to read Breakthrough, Rapid Reading. I'm really enjoying that book. I bought the Elon Musk by Ashley Vance. I started looking at A Course in Miracles. I like that. Finishing up, trying to get through Pam Grout E3, but I've been spending a lot of time on the well, you know, the speed reading. It takes a lot of time. So those are some of the books I'm reading. Not much to it this week, but I think I'm going to have to read a bunch of books if I'm going to reach my goal of 52 books a year. So that's going to be a lot of work. So when we come back, I'm going to talk about the film High Fidelity. High Fidelity. This is a 2000 romantic comedy drama by Stephen Frears. Stephen Frears has done great films like My Beautiful Laundrette, The Grifters, this film, The Queen. He's a great director. Let's see, what else? I'm missing some. Victoria and Abdul, Florence Foster Jenkins, The Program, Philomena. Sweet, Philomena was, it was directed by Stephen Frears. I did not know that. Tamara Drew, Cherie. I remember Cherie. That's a good, interesting film. So he's done a lot of films. Dangerous Liaisons. My Beautiful Laundrette. That's one of my favorite films. I love that film. So this is somebody who really knows what he's talking about when it comes to film. And he is an English director. And it's just great. Now this is based off the book by Nick Hornby, High Fidelity. And this stars John Cusack, Jack Black, Lisa Bonet, Joelle Carter, Joan Cusack, Sarah Gilbert, Eben Hijeli. I know I'm like butchering that name, but I can't figure out how to say her name. Todd Luiso, Lily Taylor, Natasha Gregson, Wagner. So, a lot of good stuff. It's funny, when I first started acting, I was given a monologue, the opening monologue here to this film. John Cusack, he's like, did I listen to pop music because I was miserable, or was I miserable because I listened to pop music? This is a great film. I really enjoy it. The score is done by Howard Shore, who is one of my favorite scorers of all time. It's more of an very low-key score. You're not going to notice it very much. Even somebody who pays attention to scores, there were only a couple of scenes where I really heard it. This has a fantastic soundtrack where you've got, Casey and the Sunshine Band. You've got, Queen. You've got, let's see, what else do we have? Do we not have a list of the soundtrack here? Yeah, so they had like 7. So they listened to 2,000 songs, and they picked 70 song cues. Interesting. Premiered at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood, and the post-party was held at the Sunset Room, and Tenacious D performed, Jack Black's band. This is an interesting story because it's really about a man who's his name is Rob Gordon, and he's trying to kind of find himself in the world, and he keeps going through his top 5 breakups, and you can tell he kind of dwells on it. Wait a minute, they missed another actress on here. Catherine Zeta-Jones is in this film. She plays one of his top 3 in the breakup. It's yeah, I didn't even mention that. Bruce Springsteen makes a cameo in this, which I just absolutely love. Tim Robbins is in this. Yeah, where did I not read that? Todd Luiso, I love some of the characters he plays. He was in 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag. Not a particularly great film, but I find it funny for its time. This film was released in March 31st, 2000. It's a nice little indie film. Really good stuff. I found myself really, I don't want to say relating to it, but I kind of wanted him to just kind of realize that, he thinks he's not good enough for any of these women. And he he owns a record store, and he's just kind of him and Jack Black, and they kind of are like, they kind of see themselves as, almost rock snobs, which is an interesting book. I think there's a book called Rock Snobs. And I like it. I thought Catherine Zeta-Jones was really good in this. She's not in it that much, but for what she's in, it really works. He kind of doesn't. He's kind of running this record store. And he doesn't really care if he's selling records. He's just kind of doing it. He's kind of just drifting through life and just kind of dwelling on the past and not thinking of the future. And the film kind of begins with his girlfriend breaks up with him, and he ends up getting, well, wait a minute. Let me talk about spoilers here. Spoilers. All right, here we go. So the film opens up with his girlfriend breaking up with him, and he's trying to figure out who he's kind of upset with her and blames everybody except for himself, until he comes to the realization in the rain after a funeral that he really was the problem, that he always was looking backwards and just kind of staying in the same place, and that's really why she left him. So he kind of comes to that conclusion, and he wants to change. And then the movie this kind of comes toward the end of the film. I love the monologue at the very beginning. One of my favorite parts is he's sitting in his bed and, questioning things. And Bruce Springsteen is there, like, this is kind of going on in his head. I don't think he's actually there. And he's playing, I think he's done. It was like, hey, man, give her a call, see what she's got to do, And he doesn't sound Southern. That's a really bad smack. Like, hey, man, give her a call and, see what she's about. I can't do Bruce Springsteen. But it's great. And then he says to him, he says, thanks, boss. So I like it. It's got a lot of nice, memorable scenes. This part where he's going through all his, breakups and seeing how the relationship goes. Charlie, who's played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, is probably the one he's hanging on the most. It's really funny because it's almost making fun of his Say Anything character. I really enjoy this movie. I'm probably going to watch it again and again and again now that I've kind of rediscovered it. But yeah, and he finds himself, kind of doing a record label, and we find out that, at the very end, he's kind of, before he was making mixtapes for himself, and now he's making a mixtape for Laura. So he's found somebody that he cares about more than himself. Perfect ending. John Cusack was perfect here. Everybody's great in here. Great film. I can't recommend it enough. Go see it. I don't know what else to say. It's an underrated classic, I feel like, and it has a great soundtrack. So go see it. When we come back, I will talk a little bit about politics. So Congress reached a deal on the stimulus checks. Yay! So let's look at what's in these things. So the package is going to send stimulus payments of $600 to people. That's half the amount provided in the first round of checks, which went out in the spring. I don't know why, but okay. Eligible families are going to receive $600, an additional $600 per child, which is $100 more than Congress gave families in the first round, so I guess that's a success. The payments start phasing out for individuals with adjusted gross incomes of more than $75,000, and those making more than $99,000 would not receive anything. The income thresholds would be doubled for couples, and the amounts are based off of 2019 incomes and the 2019 tax returns. Undocumented immigrants who don't have Social Security numbers remain ineligible for the payments, but in change from the first, their spouses and children are now eligible as long as they have Social Security numbers. The jobless will receive $300 weekly of federal enhancement and benefits for 11 weeks from the end of December through March 14th under the deal. So that's nice. At least we're paying people to stay home. The agreement calls for extensions of 2 or other pandemic unemployment programs that were created in the CARES Act in March. The deal provides federally funded $100 per week additional benefit to those who have at least $5,000 in annual self-employment income but are disqualified from receiving pandemic unemployment assistance because they are eligible for regular state unemployment benefits. Small business loans are going to get second loans would be limited to those with fewer than 300 employees. So theaters good for them. They are getting a $15 billion grant program for live venues, theaters, and museum operators that have lost at least 25% of their revenues. The initial grant can total up to $10 million per eligible businesses. And then a second grant worth half the amount of the first may also be available. So that's good. The bill would provide $82 billion in aid for K through 12 schools and colleges, rental assistance, $25 billion in rental assistance, nutrition assistance, the SNAP benefits by 15% for 6 months, but would not expand eligibility. Vaccine and hospital funding, $20 billion for the purchase of vaccines, payroll tax repayment. So there's no direct aid to state and local governments, which would be an additional $160 billion. That will not be there. So, I don't know. I guess it's better than nothing. So, $600 to people. Only children younger than 17 are expected to be eligible for dependency. So there you have it. We have the stimulus checks. They finally agreed to help people in some ways. I mean, this could have been so much better. We had talk about $2,000 checks, but Trump's aides told him not to shut up about that, which would have been a good thing if Trump did that. There's talk of Ivanka Trump primarying Marco Rubio, so we'll see about that. But at least some money is going to be getting out to people. Is it enough? No. But it will at least save some movie theaters. Child care, they're going to get $10 billion for child care providers. Broadband, there's going to be $5 billion to make broadband more available for low-income families and expand it in rural areas. The Postal Service gets a $10 billion loan included in the CARES Act. So, there you have it. Money will be given. So, at least they're doing something. Is it enough? Not really, but it's something. Now let's look at some of the progressives that are now in Biden's cabinet. Oh, Pete Buttigieg is now been nominated for the Transportation Secretary. What is it? What is the full title? Sorry about that. He's been named the Transportation Secretary, which some people see him as unqualified for this position, but they want to prop him up so that when he runs again, he does better. Plus, he dropped out when they wanted him to, so they're going to take care of him. We have the first Native American, let's see. Why isn't there just a... Okay, here we go. Cabinet Joe Biden. All right, so here's who... Finally, we've got like a little list here to make this a little bit easier. Celia Rouse is being nominated for the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. We've already talked about her. The administration of the Environmental Production Agency is Michael S. Regan. People are iffy on that. The Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines. The White House Chief of Staff, Ron Klain. I like that. The United States Trade Representative, Catherine Tai. Let's see, Secretary of Veteran Affairs, Dennis McDonough. Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayor. We already talked about him. Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm. I like her. Let's see what she does. She may. Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Marcia Fudge of Ohio, which this leads to a seat opening up for Nina Turner to run for. Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Xavier Becerra. Secretary of Agriculture, Dom Filisak. The Attorney General, we still don't know yet. Secretary of Interior, Deb Haaland. This is a good get. This is our first real progressive. Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. Iffy on that. I could read all these people, but I don't want to. But yes, we got, I'm very happy for the Secretary of Interior. Now if we can get Secretary of Labor to be a progressive, I think that would be good. But yes, Representative Deb Haaland of New Mexico, the first Native American to serve here in this position, and this is a good get. So there you have it. We have those people. And what else do we have? Do we have anything else that's going on in yeah, that's about it for politics that really interests me this week. So let's end with a nice, beautiful quote. Because it's Christmas, and what can we do? Inspiring quotes. I'm going to do this in real time here. Let's come up with a nice, inspiring. Here we go. Here's something nice. I like this. Do not set yourself on fire in order to keep others warm. I repeat. Do not set yourself on fire in order to keep others warm. What that means is don't burn yourself. Don't run into a burning building. All right, that's not it. How to say this? All right, well, you know when you're on a plane and the mask comes in, they say you've got to adjust your own mask before you help others? Well, that's kind of the same thing. Help yourself before you help others. Because if you just help others and you don't help yourself, you're going to be miserable because all you're doing is helping other people. So help yourself before you help others. Take care of yourself first. Then help others. And I think we get it backwards sometimes. If you can help yourself, you're going to do much more good helping others because you're going to be happy. So make yourself happy, then make others happy. And continue to spread that wealth around. So that's how I interpret that quote. It may be interpreted in different ways, but that's kind of what I see it as. You gotta take care of your own heart first before you help other people's hearts. And with that, I think that about does it. As always, you can reach me at my handle, @JustinYance. And I want to say thank you for listening. And when we come back next week, you're going to be hearing a new sound because I got a new microphone. And you're going to be hearing from the Shure MV7. So enjoy. And I will see you next time. Oh, wait. It's Christmas. So let's say this now. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Merry Holidays, the new one that I started. Doesn't really work as well, but could gain some traction. So, Merry Holidays and Merry Christmas. And I hope everyone has a great week. And I will see you next time on the DMF.